What if I told you that the easiest method to crush all your nofap urges is actually super simple? When was the last time that a thought really bothered you? It was maybe a negative thought that was just going on repeat in your head over and over. Maybe this thought kept you up at night. You were playing this loop over and over, this story in your head. The more you played it, this story, this thought, the worse it got. The more you resisted it. Before I tie this to nofap, and I promise I will, imagine cars driving in a highway. Imagine the speed limit is high, all these cars are driving, and you just get in the middle of the highway and you tell these cars to stop. You put your hand right in front of these cars and you tell it to stop. What do you think happens? They're going to start honking at you, they're going to be pissed at you, but they're going to stay in place, right? Because you're blocking the road. You're not letting any of these cars get past you. So of course they're going to stop. And what if you did what most people should do? Is you don't get in front of these cars, obviously, but you watch them. You watch these cars just get past you and drive away, right? It's very simple. Now the analogy here is that these cars are like your thoughts, like your negative thoughts that we talked about that you resist. And the more you watch them, the more you observe them, they're just going to go. But if you stop right in front of them, you put your hand right in the middle and you're like, stop. The cars will stop. And like the thought that we talked about, they're just going to persist. They're not going to leave. They're just going to keep on honking in front of you because you're right in front of it. You tell it, don't go anywhere. But how does this tie to nofap, you're wondering? This resisting issue applies to nofap because the more you resist these urges that come and go, just like the ocean, the waves of the ocean, the more you do that, the more they persist. The more they come back every single day, every single week. So what the 99% of the people do is they get an urge, and right after the urge, they resist it. And that makes it persist. If you resist something, it will persist. And obviously because they resist it, they fail and they give in to the temptations and they watch porn again and again. And they're stuck in an endless cycle. What if I told you that you're not even supposed to resist your nofap urges? You're not supposed to resist this addiction of yours. What if I told you that it was as simple as just watching it, watching these urges? You honestly don't even have to try, and this is the magic of what I'm about to teach you. There's a quote by Eckhart Tolle in The Power of Now, one of my favorite books, and he says, the moment you start watching the thinker, a higher level of consciousness becomes activated. The first thing I want you to understand is that you are not your thoughts. And I know this is a very difficult concept to understand because you're like, what do you mean I'm not my thoughts? Of course I am. You are not your thoughts. You are not your urges, and you have to start treating these urges as a separate entity than you. Only then will you become free. The next time you have an urge, just watch it. Don't run away. Just be genuinely curious about what you're feeling. And this is where the reframe comes. Many people, they lean away from the urge, even subconsciously. They want to get furthest away as possible. But this is not surprising because most people want the easy route. Most people want the quick fix, right? And at first it feels good. It feels good to escape, to run away from the urge and lean away from it. But what if I told you that the real power is leaning into the urge? And I know this sounds counterproductive. I know what you're thinking. But trust me, this works. Do exactly the opposite of what your monkey brain is telling you to do. It's telling you to escape from this urge, to resist it. But in fact, you're going to lean deeper into it. You just sit there in silence, leaning into this urge, into the feeling, to your physical body and sensations. Only then you can become free. Because in life, leaning towards discomfort is always a solution. It was never about leaning towards the easy stuff. So the next time you have an urge, be there, sit with it, and feel it fully. Be the witnessing presence of this urge and see it for exactly what it is. It's an urge that comes and goes, just like the waves of the ocean. They come and go, and you're there unfazed and unbothered by it. Feel your body on the chair. Feel your physical body, whether it's your feet touching the ground or your hands. But go deeper into the present moment by leaning into not only your body and physical sensations, but also your breath. Think of yourself as a rock in the storm when you're in this scenario. A rock in the storm, it's raining, there's thunder, and it's just there unmoved by the winds and the thunder and the rain. It's just there still as a rock. And that is exactly what you are and what you want to embody when you experience these urges. When you're fully in the now, nothing can stop you because urges only live in the mind and the urges die in the present moment. Notice how when you're doing this, it's going to be super uncomfortable in the beginning. Your mind is going to want you to stay away from the present moment. It's going to try to pull you away and lure you in to old habits. But you say no, you stay grounded. You make your presence so strong, so focused and laser focused that nothing can overtake you. All these thoughts and urges, they just disappear. They just vanish into thin air because of how present you are. This is truly a power, brother. And you can unlock it. You can tap into this today, the next time you have an urge. As I end this section, I want you to repeat this sentence with me. Urges cannot survive presence. Urges cannot survive presence. For this next section, I want to teach you a cheat code that literally will make your life easier when you're facing these urges. And that is to laugh at the urges. And I know it sounds weird, but I want to explain this. Part of being an observer of your thoughts and urges is to disassociate with them. It's to not associate them with who you are, with your self-identity. And a great way to do that is by laughing at these urges when they come. You don't argue with them, you don't fight them, but you almost see it as this little child that just wants you to give it more energy. It's throwing a tantrum, it's crying, and it wants you to feed it more energy. But in fact, you stay still, you stay present, you don't feed into it. And you even laugh a little bit in your head. And you're like, no, I know exactly what you're trying to do. It's not going to happen. And by laughing at the urge, you give it less power. Literally practice this. Laugh at the urge the next time you get it. Smile at it. You're unfazed by it. You're not going to move. Just like the rock that we talked about. You're going to stay still. The storm is going to happen anyway, but you're staying still. You're even smiling. You're making a fun time out of it. And before you know it, you just beat an urge without even fighting it. Who needs to fight it like you did before? Presence is your solution, brother. If you want a free ebook about NoFap and crushing all of your NoFap urges, it's linked down below. I hope this video helped, brother. I'll see you next time. Peace.